Hello everybody, today we are continuing with the modern Initial D car series where we kind of reimagine the original Initial D cast of cars or car lineup as if Initial D were to take place in a modern day. Today we have Takeshi Nakazato's which would be an R32, which in this case is we went with the R35. Given that it's supposed to be the modern equivalent, if you will. And yeah. And for those of you who don't know what GTR I'm talking about, it's the one in the first stage that just totally bites the guardrail. But yeah, it's that one. So while we get ready here, man, I went to the Toyota Save Mart 350, the NASCAR race, this past weekend, and accidentally got my hat signed by Kyle Larson. It was pretty cool. After the race, I just ended up in a random line, and then I was talking to one of the people online. He's like, "Oh yeah, he's gonna come through and do autographs." Really? And I ended up getting my hat signed. It's pretty cool. But anyway, back to on topic for the video. These cars are a lot less restricted than the original Initial D cars that I made back a couple years ago. The link to that playlist will be in the description below, but the only real restriction with the modern day cars that I went with was I wanted to keep them S1 class, so the original cars that I made a couple years back could for the most part keep up with these cars. I tried to keep them a mid S1 class, but all the GTRs ended up a little higher than that. This one I think is the highest one. There's 3 GTRs. There's this one, the Reaper GTR, and then the Godfoot GTR. And for those of you who are wondering why I went with the 2012 GTR instead of the 2017, there is a reason for that. And the reason for that is, do I still have, that might have been before my account got reset, not gonna lie. Okay, yeah, it was. So yeah, pretty much so Nakazato's GTR is on R32, the Godfoot GTR is on R34, and I kind of wanted to do them both as R35s. So it was I went with the slightly older R35 for to take place as the R32. And the R34 is the new and improved 32, so I went with the 2017 R35 to be in the position of the R34. That's kind of why I did that. And I didn't even touch the Nismo one because it would have just been way over S1. And yeah. So anyway, back on track into the build here. Or actually, I'm going to start with telling you guys how to actually, or no. We're going to go with the build. We're going to go with the build, and then we will go over the paint scheme. So to begin, stock all-wheel drive. I opted for not putting on the body kit. As far as aero, keep it all stock arena. Just chilling. Stock. You already know. Slick race tire compound. Max track width in the front. Max track width in the rear. Then for the wheels, so the wheels are not for all of the newer cars. None of the, well, I think on a couple of them they are, but most of the wheels aren't the exact same wheels. Because some of the wheels on those older cars, you can tell those are 90s wheels. They look a bit dated on the newer cars. So I went with something same amount of spokes, similar looking, similar style, but looked a little more modern. Which in this case I went with the ADV1, ADV5S track spec CS wheels. Then for the rear track width, I went maxed out. For the front track width, went with the second one. Then for the drivetrain, race transmission, the stock one, none of the added gears or anything, just straight race transmission. Race differential. Moving to the brakes, you got race brakes. Race suspension, my allergies are killing me. I feel like I'm gonna sneeze. Race front anti-roll bars. Race rear anti-roll bars. And sport weight reduction, because the race one, as you can see right here, bumps us over S2, and that's not good. So yeah, and no roll cage as well. I think one of the GTRs I had to put a roll cage. I don't know. Race intake, race fuel system, race ignition, race valves. Man, I hate this part. It's just so much talking. It's so much talking. Okay, now I sound like a crackhead. Race cam, race exhaust. I skipped a row. Sport engine block. Sport pistons. Stock twin turbo. Race flywheel. Race oil and cooling. And finally, race intercooler. That's it for the build. Now we're going to move over to the tune. For the tire pressure, you want 32 in the front and 35 in the rear. For the gearing, final drive 2.20. It's been a few weeks since I made this car, so I believe the gearing to be stock. If yours is different than this, go ahead, pause the video, match up these numbers, and so on. I'll give you guys a second to do that. Okay. I believe that to be stock though. Anyway, moving forward. For the alignment, starting with camber, you want negative 3.0 in the front, negative 2.0 in the rear. For the toe, you want positive 1.0 out in the front. Then for the rear, you want negative 1.5 in. Front caster angle of 5 for the anti-roll bars. The front you want 25, the rear you want 15. For springs, in the front you want 509.7, the rear you want 741.9. Ride height 4.3 front and back. Oh God, I'm going to sneeze. I can feel it coming. Pause. For the rebound stiffness, you want 8.4 in the front, 13.2 in the rear. For the bump stiffness, you want 5.6 in the front, 8.8 in the rear. Aero, you should not have this. But if you do, if you decided to put that on, leave it stock. For braking, balance, you want 48% towards the rear. Pressure, you want 75%. Differential. Deep breath in. Okay. For the front, you want 32% acceleration, 15% deceleration. The rear, you want 70 acceleration. I almost did it again. I almost said 4.7, but it's 47% deceleration. Center balance is 72% towards the rear. Man, mouthful right there. Now moving on to the design, I believe that I made some new liveries recently, guys. You guys should check them out. I believe I published this design. I could be wrong. I am wrong about that. I'm gonna publish it for you guys right now, and I will give you guys a share code if you guys don't feel like making the design yourself, you know. It's Knight with a K, right? Yeah, I think so. Hopefully. I hope that's with a K. Please be with a K. Damn it. Okay, hold on. One moment, please. I think I could just rename it, right? Am I able to... Well, let me unshare that. Now I look stupid. I think what threw me off was the K here, and I was like, is it double K? No 3Ks. 3Ks in a row is bad. We don't talk about that. Not on YouTube. I don't feel like getting demonetized. Okay. Now for the share. I can view the share codes in here now. I just realized that. I can actually. Damn it! Never mind. Yeah, if you guys want to look at my liveries, search up my username. Just like that. Maybe not like that, like that. Hit enter, and you can go ahead and search. I just realized I did not search. I didn't filter by vehicle. Let me do that. Man, I'm full of mistakes today, guys. Man, this livery's old. Cool one though. Finally, for the share code. After all this time, 717-394-144. One more time, 717-394-144. Or you could just pause the video and look at it, whichever you prefer. Okay, now if you want to make the livery yourself, I know that in the show, the Night Kid sticker is on this back window, but unfortunately on Forza we can't put stickers on windows. I mean, like, I get it, I guess. Just like you can make it to where you can only put it on like this one, these little back windows, or the rear windshield, or like rear window. Like, just like make it to where we can't put it on the windshield. But it's whatever. I mean, like, it's alright. I just put it behind that window. I mean, like, it's kind of the closest spot you could put it. But anyway, for the color, you want to go over to special colors, bring it on down till you get to metal flake. By default it's this green color. Then you want to hit the, well, on a controller it's the X button for dual color fine tune. Then you want the colors to be 0, 0, 0 for the low light, and then for the highlight 0, 0, and then 0.29 for the highlight, which gives this really like unique black color with sort of like a gradient in there, I guess. For the wheels, come over to special colors once again, and in order to save time after all the shenanigans from earlier, you want the steel semi-gloss for the wheels. And of course tint the windows black. So then for the sticker placement here, what I did was I actually made that Night Kids sticker. I made it a long time ago when I made the original like car, the R32. Shrunk it down, slapped it right there, then got like a mask shape. Because this is a custom color, you can't really match it with the options you get here, and it won't have that same like glare gloss like metal flake to it. So you want to get a mask shape, cover up the kid part right there, and then put another one here, and then get another mask shape and cover up like the night part. Night with no K, to clarify. So yeah, that's pretty much how you do that. Do it on both sides. There you have it. Livery is done. That's how you make the car look like this. Same goes for the R32. Okay. Damn, it's still nighttime. I normally do like these sorts of videos like at the player house or whatever, but it's always nighttime, I feel like. Anyway, we're gonna head on over to the mountain pass. We're gonna give it a nice run down the pass, show you guys what the car can do. Been a while since I've driven this car. No practice runs. Yeah, we're gonna see what happens. And little disclaimer before we get going, this is not a drift car. I need to clarify this because of what happened last time we did the initial D series with the original cars, like with the actual cars from the show, not like any like weird modern versions of them or anything. They are not drift cars. They just possess the capability to do so. So my score is going to be like 300,000, if that. Like, if I was really making a drift car, I could pretty easily go more than 300,000, as you can see. I could probably beat that score if I wanted to, but I don't actively drift down the mountain anymore. So, with that rant out of the way, let's get straight to it. And I remember the original R32. I mean, like, I know that in the show, like, that car is like, oh yeah, it's a grip car, it's a grip car. But if I remember right, I gave that car the ability to drift just so you guys could like play around with it or whatever. I don't think I did the same here because I'm pretty stuck to the ground, as you can see. Let me try to. Oh, okay. That felt really forced though. Like I could tell the car didn't want to do it. Excuse me. Yeah, this is a true and through drift car, because I could tell, like, that drift around that corner back there, this car did not want to do that. Let's see if you drift. Okay, that was a mistake. Lesson learned, guys. No. Well, not really that lesson. If a car doesn't want to drift, it will not drift. Therefore, don't force it to. In other words, no means no. Get consent first. That applies to women and cars. Okay, you had to come in when I was recording though? Sorry about that. I lost control of the car for a split second because my brother walked in the room to ramble on about some nonsense. When I just told him right before I started recording this, hey, I'm recording, don't come in the room. And what does he do? He comes in the room. He's not in here anymore, but freaking a-hole. Threw off my whole rhythm. Okay, just ignore that. That never happened. If you say that happened in the comments, you are a liar. I did not almost spin out, or not almost spin out. I did not go off of the road just before the final hairpin in the drift zone. Yeah, this car is definitely a little faster than the original cars. The original cars through that speed trap will go like 140, like mid 140s. And as to where this just clocked like a, what was it, like a 151? It was in the 150s. Even like the newer cars are in like the 140s there, but the GTRs, there's like, once you build them up, it's kind of like, you can't really tune that down. But that, who wants to tune it down anyway? I want a freaking monster on the road. Like, I don't want to tune it down, you know? But with all that done, let's do some donuts, 'cause that's how we end off all the videos here. Do some donuts, some donies. And before we end, I do not condone street takeovers and doing donuts in the intersection. Okay? That is not good. Like, come on, man. If you can't afford a track day, take it to a parking lot or like an abandoned parking lot. Those aren't really like uncommon. Anyway, with with all that being done and said, thank you guys for watching. I hope to see you in the next one. And that is all from me today.